it was always music. My mom played and sang. My aunt played. And so that's all I ever knew.
All right, so after college, you went into teaching yourself, but not immediately. It's a funny story of how you got into education, so please share that story.
So first of all, at Central, I was on a music ed track, and I did everything except for take the test. I refused to take the test. Didn't want to take the test because I was to be a music engineer. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to work behind the scenes. I wanted to work with background singers. I wanted to be the one that put the track together and then hand it to the person that was actually going to do the recording. Actually had some experience in that, which led me to do a little DJing. So I was about to be on my way, had my little cards together, was doing some church gigs and everything. And then I needed like 2 more credits because I switched, I needed two more credits. And so my dad was like, so you need a job as you get these 2 more credits because you're not going to stay on campus. But I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And I was like, well, I just sub. I'll go back home to Percy County and sub. And Daddy started talking. Well, you're going to be a teacher. They got good benefits and you're going to get a check every month. The state got to pay the people and don't worry about it. I was like, I ain't going to work for no state. I'm going out here. I'm going in the music business. I'm going to travel. I'm going to do this and I'm going to be background to the background, do all this stuff. Got caught up at South Elementary School. And Nikki, I cannot remember her name, but she was pregnant at the time. And they said, well, we just need you for a couple days a week. And then her pregnancy got bigger. Oh, we just need you for half a day. Then around November, oh, we need you for a couple of days a week. By January, oh, she's not coming back. They'd have put her on bed rest. I ended up staying at South between October to the end of the year. Pretty much for the whole year of first grade. Miss Wilkerson, Dwight's mom, was across the hallway. And I remember her saying, told you wasn't going nowhere. But that was my first year of what I call teaching. The principal would send me on trainings. And I'm like, I don't know why you sending me on this training. I ain't gonna be here. I'm not teaching. And as my dad would say, Lord and behold, the very next year, I went to Eastway Elementary School in Durham because I needed a job and they needed a music teacher. And I remember praying and going, look, God, you ain't got to get this to me. If I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it. But and I ended up getting the job and passing my praxis on the first time. And I've been in education ever since. Never did make that music engineering. Never did go back to DJing. Wow. Any of that stuff.
So where all have you taught?
Most of my career has been in Durham. Eastway Elementary School, Pinkston Street in Henderson. Here at North End Elementary. Back in Durham at Eno Valley. And so right now I am the executive administrator over at Progressive Learning Academy here in Roxborough.
But now you're not just a teacher. Mm-hmm. You ended up following your parents into ministry, which I notice is common because a heart that desires to teach oftentimes is called by God into ministry, to do ministry work. So talk a little bit about the different work you do in ministry and how your particular ministry and your particular focus puts to use all those skills and talents and that education from growing up and how all that's come together for you.
Well, I guess you would have to kind of go back to where what I was doing with my parents in ministry and go back to that music. It was always music. My mom played and sang. My aunt played. And so that's all I ever knew was to play. And so at an early age, I'm playing for people. I'm teaching them the songs. And in order to rightfully teach a song, you have to be able to understand the song. You have to be able to tell the mood of the song, what the composer meant by certain words in the song, and why there's a crescendo and a decrescendo at certain parts of the song. And so as a child, getting to learn that stuff and hide it in your heart and kind of minister to yourself first, not knowing that you're ministering to yourself, and then teaching this stuff, it becomes a passion. And so then you fast forward to who I'm teaching most of the time. It didn't hit me until I got to Nehemiah that most of my life I have been teaching youth. You know, that's who I dealt with. At first, it just seemed like, oh, they just put you with the kids because you a kid. You know how people do. Put her with them, they work together. You know, but even as I grew older, I was still with that same age group. And so it didn't hit me, like I said, until I got to Nehemiah. And even at Nehemiah, that's who Pastor put me with. And I'm doing the same thing. And then next thing you know, you see a trend. So then when I get the job at Eastway, there's a trend. And then next thing you know, you're going, well, maybe it's something behind what I'm doing. Maybe God has set me up for something greater. And because I'm not that person to be out front, oh, I ran. And I ran hard. I'm talking about like relay team, go stick, Jamaica gone, don't want it. But God knows how to bring you back. He really does. And it's funny because my pastor called me out in front of everybody. And he called me out by literally saying in front of the church, and today I'd like to introduce to you our new youth pastor, Tangela Blackwell. What? Like, it literally happened like that. And I walked in his office and I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, if I would have brought you in and talked to you about it, you would have said no. I was like, yeah, right, that's true. And so I said, well, what does this mean? And he was like, it means that you're going to start taking classes and you're going to start doing this with ministry, because God knew that that's the type of person I am. You know, I'm the type of person that's going to listen to someone that I truly respect and that I know hears the words of God. So from there, I accepted my ministry and I am where I am today. Now, Pastor Davis is a true community activist. He's a social justice person. He is out in the community beating the streets and making sure that the community is well taken care of. And that's what the church is built off of. The church is built off of rebuilding broken lives. So how can I not add that into my ministry? You know, with a father like I had, with a pastor like I have, with the experiences that I've had, and then I'm in the middle of an education system in North Carolina, which has sucked over the years and can't pay their teachers, and have some of the poorest counties and can't provide for their kids. Like, what better thing to do than to take those things, wrap them up in a ball, and become the person that I need to become to actually minister and serve the community the way these kids, these youth need to be ministered and served or mentored.